Welcome in to another edition of the Cavalier Connection. It's been a while. I'm Jeff, joined by Jay. How you doing tonight, Jay?
Yeah, doing great. First, I believe it's a first anyway for a Friday night episode.
Yeah, Friday night at 8. It will be so great.
You do
Um,
not want to be late.
yeah. Yeah, we've been busy all week between Jay and I coaching baseball. Both our kids' baseball season came to an end this week. So tough break. But finally be able to get back at it. Uh, big baseball news this week. That's been the headlines of the week. So we talk a little baseball tonight. Before we get started, tonight's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Mincers. Are you still thinking socks and a mug for Father's Day? You can do better. Your dad deserves something legendary, like a brand new UVA polo from Mincers. He's already told every story. I've done it from 95 3 times. Now let him tell it in style. And thanks to Mincer's orange tag sales, you can save cash while you upgrade his wardrobe. Whether he's yelling at the TV, rewatching the 2019 Natty, or, as Jay and I have been doing, giving unsolicited coaching tips at Little League, make sure he's decked out in the finest Wahoo gear on earth. Shop the corner, the Stoville Shopping Center, or Mincers.com. That's Mincers turning regular dads into Virginia legends. So yeah,
Kudos
welcome
to
in.
that ad read. I mean, that is outstanding work by the ad team there.
Yeah, and they're paid handsomely to do that. So
Yes.
yeah, anyway, and that's going to lead us real quick. We're going to go into our Mincers moment, and this one I said get your Kleenexes ready. There was a call up this just yesterday. Let's watch this one.
Hey, Mom, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you have any plans? All right, that's good because you're going to need a book of flights to Chicago. Yeah. Thank you, Mom. Okay, I love you. I just want to call you. Yeah. All right, I love you. Go!
Kyle Teal getting the call up, and I can't imagine being able to make that phone call. I know Jay, between both of us when we were kids, the thought of being able to make a phone call like that, I know those were dreams of ours, and unfortunately, my talent level was nowhere close to
Yeah, that's
being that.
that's a,
But
that's a special moment there. I mean, you gotta love to see that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, you're talking about less than 1% of the population that ever gets to do anything like that. But man, what a moment! Got to be happy for him. And I can report because I just watched his first at bat. Started his career off with an unofficial at bat with a walk, 3-2 pitch. Got a slider and laid off of it. Tough at bat, fouled off some pitches. Uh, Typical, Teal, just solid at the plate. Didn't chase anything out of the zone. I think he's going to be a great big leaguer for a really long time.
yeah, and we were talking about it before we went on the air. I think it's his uncle, Stephen Teal, that's on X, and he was going to the game. And unfortunately, I think he was on not a sponsor of the show, Southwest Airline tonight,
Yeah,
and unfortunately got delayed to the point where now was the flight canceled
it was
or
canceled,
canceled. So he's not going to
completely
get a
canceled after 4 hours. I think.
4
I
hours.
think of
Yep.
sitting on the runway, and it wasn't even raining. From what he was, I believe that's what it said. But that's just
Yeah.
a shame. It's not fair. Man, I'd be irate. I don't know where the flight was coming from, but if I could have hopped in a car or flown to somewhere that I could hop in a car,
Yeah.
you're
Well, of
hoping
course, if
for a
you're
rain delay in Chicago.
yeah. But if you're stuck on the plane,
Yeah.
not much you can do. I guess
No.
you could be like friends and say the phalange's going bad. Get me off of this plane. But so Teal he took ball four just as disciplined as Coach Brian O'Connor taught him to do. And Coach O'Connor, a hot topic this past week. Disappointing news that he was leaving. The rumor mills were out there, and then when it became official, that's tough for Virginia baseball, as you see a mass exodus of players, as always happens when there's a coaching change. Any specific thoughts, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think we've seen this. Hey, there's a guy, Cardiac, who's in the house. Appreciate you on Friday night. I don't think maybe there has been, but a major program like a Virginia that had the mass transfers like we saw, like with basketball, I feel like it's commonplace. Like you just the roster is going to completely turn over. I don't know that, and maybe it's just I don't follow baseball quite as closely, with other schools. But I feel like, golly day, man. I mean, we lost everybody. We lost. I mean, of the guys, and I saw at least a few of the guys are heading right down to Mississippi State to play with Coach Oak, and I got to imagine that. I mean, you got to think that's going to signal a lot of guys transferring out from Mississippi State. Maybe we can just do a swap. They had a great year this year as well. Man, I would love to land some of those guys, but we're going to have to rebuild the roster through the portal for sure if we want to have any type of team next year.
Yeah. Hey, Cardiac Who's, real quick. I don't know if you have any interest. You're welcome to join us. I just sent you a link if you want to jump on and give your thoughts here. And we got a message here. 3 freshmen are going. Yep. And those were, I believe, all 3 announced today.
Yeah.
Nunnally, Chone.
I saw James and Thomas.
But Nunnally was the last one that I've seen.
Yeah,
it was a few hours ago. Yeah.
I'm assuming Ford and those guys will follow. I don't know that to be true, but Ford, I mean, they entered the portal immediately with a do not contact. So that means typically you know where you're going to go. We'll see.
Yeah. So, of course we were disappointed. But you look at what he's getting paid handsomely to go to Mississippi State, and getting your salary doubled. You can't blame somebody.
Well, yeah, and just I think most people watching this probably know by now, but the year before last, I believe Coach Oak's salary at Virginia was $700,000 a year. I think last year they doubled it to 1.4, and so now Mississippi State, his deal is $2.9 million per year. Makes him the second highest paid baseball coach in college baseball. I'm not sure who number 1 is. I could guess maybe down at Florida. That guy, I know he's been really good, but I don't know. I don't want to be wrong, but so I mean, look, the facilities, the fans, the way that they treat baseball, baseball not being a revenue sport, Jeff, it's like, can you blame him for going and getting everything you could ever want at one place?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk about all the different angles from this, but
Jack said. I'll say Jack was telling me, I hadn't seen this, that I guess season tickets for baseball is $300 at Mississippi
for the cheap
State.
seats.
And at Virginia, it was like $70.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know what's next in the coaching front for Virginia, but they got a lot of work in front of them because they're going to have to fill a lot of holes on that roster.
Let me ask you this: the controversy, a lot of fans took it really personal that Coach did not send a thank you letter out or have a statement or anything of that nature. And then it comes out, I don't know if it was later in the day yesterday, I think, is when I saw Jerry, friend of the show, Hootie, Jerry Ratcliffe, posted that Coach O'Connor had indeed written a letter, a thank you letter to the fans of Virginia, and given it to the athletic department, asked them to distribute it for him because he did not have social media, and that was not done. Now, what are your thoughts? Thoughts. Is it true? Do you believe it? I mean, what are your thoughts?
The only thing is for me is on that is if Coach O'Connor I don't care if you don't have social media. If Coach O'Connor wants a letter out, I mean, he was right there with Hootie. Hootie would put it out for him. Any Virginia media member would have put that out for him.
We would have put it out on the CavalierConnection.com. All you had to do is ask.
Question. We would have put it out. And then on the flip side, if what he's saying is accurate, then you like, why would Virginia not put that out? Like, do you want him to, make him look bad? I mean, I don't understand it from either side.
Well, from the Virginia side, like, here's the thing. If you could get away with it and not be found out that Coach Oak gave you the letter, then maybe you're like, well, kind of, if you're upset about it,
But then also, and I know I mentioned to you, then what kind of letter is this? Is it really? Could it just been a resignation? His resignation letter. You get a nice formal letter, and in there, I want to thank the fans of Virginia. And he's trying to save face on the back end. Like, I gave them a letter, but I mean, I don't know. Virginia did the correct thing as far as Carla Williams put out a message right away.
I don't think it's the right thing though, Jeff. The man gave you 21 or 22 years. That man deserves a send-off press conference. And I know he kind of left in the middle of the night. Yeah. And the relationship was obvious. I don't care what anybody says. That relationship was strained. But you put a good face on and you come out and you have a press conference for that man. And you thank him for what he did for the program.
And you're saying just Carla Williams and the athletic staff come out and have a press conference for him?
I would assume Coach Oak would have attended. If you
I just don't see that. What coach leaves a university and has they have a press conference to say I'm leaving like this?
I think you could, absolutely. Only when you've been somewhere for so long. But here, I mean, so I think you delay the announcement for Mississippi State by a day. But you hold your press conference, hey, I'm going to be leaving, whatever, and then the announcement comes out that he's going to Mississippi State. Any way you want to do it. I just think he's owed a chance to address the Virginia fans directly. And he could get that anytime he wanted at Mississippi State. But to be able to do it, I don't know.
But he kind of Baltimore Colts them and left.
That's what people
also a couple weeks before the end of the season, he said the rumor mills were out. He said, I'm not going anywhere. Virginia gives me all the resources I need for all the resources that I need, blah 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 blah. Which
for championships,
right? I don't fault him, but I mean this is what he said, and then you're gone, and I don't fault him for leaving at all. I just think you put the statement out and you move on.
But don't say I just needed another challenge, which is what he told Hootie after 21, 22 years, whatever it was. I just needed a different challenge. Don't say that. When they double your salary, just be honest and say, look, they got better resources. They're more dedicated to baseball, and I'm making double the pay. Would you leave your job for double the pay to take another job, Jeff?
Most likely. I can't promise I would. It depends on what the job is. But if I'm doing the exact same job as a baseball coach or the job I currently do, then yes, I'm going to doubling my salary. Yes.
Yeah, you're doubling
the salary. I'm going into the crappiest of all situations, and then it's how many years do I got to do it before I can get out of there?
But he shouldn't be in that situation in Mississippi State. Now, there will be a lot of pressure to win. Yeah. But coach is a good coach. He's got the talent at Virginia. There's no reason to think he won't get talent at Mississippi State. I mean, I just think that I hate to lose him because I don't want to see the baseball team suck. I mean, this year was hard with Coach Oak and with a ton of talent, and we still, didn't perform.
As far as we know, a ton of talent.
Yeah, well,
lack of
I
performance,
mean, you
but they
still
were
had
coming
your
on.
Didowicks, your Fords, your Godbouts. I mean,
they were coming on. They were coming on.
Right.
I'm a Coach Oak fan for sure. The university is trying to turn. It's very evident, really, into a football university. I feel like, but football and basketball, and those are your money makers, especially football, and all attentions will turn to Coach Elliott. He's really got to win this year. All the money that's been spent. There's no doubt we got to win this year, but I just feel like it's. I think Appleby on X was posting. This is what the university's going to.
Yeah.
And baseball at Virginia and baseball at every university is just losing money. I looked at their numbers. I think they lost in 24, just under $4,000 was your end figure. And football's been bad.
So that's basically break even. I mean, you said 4,000.
Yeah, but that's about 4,000. But they're not making anything for the university.
Right.
Football, which has been terrible, still brought in, millions.
Okay.
And millions. I want to say.
I'd like to see that. I haven't actually seen the numbers.
Just type it into the search engine; it'll pop up. You can get the report on there.
How's the women basketball compared to the men's? Just curious.
It's a big difference. I don't recall. I don't remember the exact numbers. Actually, Chris Graham FOIA'd story in last year, because I was interested to see what the baseball program was bringing in, or I knew they would lose them, but how much they were losing. It was about, like you said, almost a break even. But then when you compare it to, really, football is far above and beyond everything, and then men's basketball did well. And then that's it. Everything else is lose. So,
well, let me ask you this, Joe, about going back to Coach Oak. He doesn't take his pitching coach.
Right.
The pitching coach is blindsided.
Yeah,
that's what he stated. I'm
yeah.
blindsided.
Yeah.
The offices were cleaned out, basically, like you said, middle of the night seemed like,
except for his locker or his office.
Right. What does that change your opinion of Coach Oak or the pitching coach or Coach Dickinson?
Yeah, that's another strange one to me. I don't know. It's like, look, I'm not trying to bring a church reference in here, but it's like the rapture happened at Virginia baseball facilities, and he came in and everybody's gone. He didn't make it.
Yeah, well, that'd be tough. I was thinking, like, what is the Oak situation like when he didn't have that letter? And I was thinking, like, if let's say you've had this, you're married for 15, 20 years, and you decide you're going to get divorced, but you really love your in-laws. Like, are you gonna, you're divorcing the wife. They're leaving the university, the resources and things like that. Even though we have good stuff, we have good resources. We can't compare to Mississippi State. We know that. So he's, husband's going to maybe a better situation or something. Does he send a thank you note to the in-laws for being such good in-laws? You know what I mean? It's like the in-laws are like the fans. I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. I wasn't upset. But what's up? Hey Sam, how's it going, buddy? That's one of Jayton's buds.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't upset that Coach Oak that he left. I just, it's just been so strange. Everything about it's been strange. I mean, even Carla's statement that she released, it was a fine statement, but just 20 some years and you just get a statement. I don't know. That just I know you said put the statement out and move on, but even if I don't know, I just feel like it's not enough. Not enough for me.
Well, on the flip side, Coach Oak did still at the end of the day, I don't know whether he gave a letter to UVA or not. And he if he wanted a statement out to Virginia fans, he could have got a statement out. I call BS on the I don't have social media. Okay. You don't have to have social media to get a statement out. That's easy stuff. If you gave it to UVA and then they didn't put it out, the number of resources to get a statement out.
Shame on everybody.
I agree. And I guarantee you, Jay, that man's phone was blown up. You know, it was getting blown up when he left. Like, you know, there were messages, his phone, message after message after message. And actually, I think Hootie, I saw something where Hootie had been reaching out and finally was able to get in touch with him or something. I can't remember what I saw now, but if he wanted that something to come out, he would have got that statement out. This is 2025. Come on, man. If you telling me because you don't have social media, you can't get a statement out, how the heck can you even recruit? How'd you ever recruit? Like that's cuckoo talk.
One thing he ain't sliding into nobody's DMs, you know.
His wife is secure there.
Yeah. He's not rolling up on Tinder or nothing in Mississippi State.
No. He's no Bill Belichick.
What was the football coach you got caught and then got in a motorcycle accident and got caught? Was that Hugh Freeze or was that
I don't remember. But what's his face over at Ole Miss?
That's the one I was talking about. I couldn't remember.
Lane Kiffin.
Lane
Kiffin ended up. I think Lane Kiffin was in somebody's DMs or somebody was claiming it, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I thought it was Hugh Freeze that had gotten into a motorcycle accident. But with the sad chick on the bike.
Oh no! This was I know what you're talking about, but no, this was getting into the DMs, you know.
Oh yeah,
but,
that's risky business there for those guys, you know.
Yeah. No, look, Coach Oak. I'm a Coach Oak fan. Jay put out a thank you. Jay, a man of a little age too, was able to get a thank you letter out to Coach Oak on the CavalierConnection.com. Well written article. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, go to CavalierConnection.com and click on the news links. And Jay released a thank you letter or a thank you article to Coach Oak, and we are thankful for it. You know, like you said, it's kind of a shame on everybody's situation. And you know, Virginia baseball, they were ready to close up shop when Coach Oak came on board. Yep. So you know, he saved the program.
And that 2015 title came at just it couldn't have come at a better time for me personally. As you would remember, that was when my wife got paralyzed in March of that year. We were still in the rehab facility in Atlanta, Georgia. And funny enough, one of her PTs babysat Dansby Swanson when he was little, and Dansby was on that 2015 Vanderbilt team. He was their top player from that team. And yeah, and so she was wearing a Vanderbilt shirt to my wife's PT session that day. And of course I was talking trash. But Vanderbilt was in a really good spot. And you know, they had their ace lined up to beat us, and man, that team was so resilient. And man, that because I'm a major league, I'm a Mets fan. And so 86 was the last World Series that we won. I do remember watching some of it, but not vividly. And so really baseball championships, I mean, don't really have one. So that to me was like, and I've always been a baseball guy, that's up there. You know, it was up there to win that title.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was awesome. And he had us competitive.
It's that trophy. It's back there. It's back there somewhere.
I see it, Jay. You know, They send Jay anytime they win a national title. Jay gets a trophy sent his way. So
Yeah, they're all replicas, of course, but they're all
It's nice of UVA to do that for you and support the podcast as they do. So, yep. So we'll see. Who knows what the future may hold for Virginia baseball, but it looks like a basketball team when Coach Odom came in, even though everybody left, but just a couple. There's a lot less players to a basketball team than a baseball team to kind of fill in.
Yeah.
And you need pitching desperately if you want to win. You got to put runs on the board. It's a lot more to it to me.
Here's what I don't understand, Jeff, and maybe you have some perspective on this. A major league roster is 20. It used to be the 25 man. Is it 26 man now?
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's either 25 or 26. It was always 25, but I want to say they expanded it to 26.
I think they did. I think you're right. Yeah.
So, but anyway, why does college baseball need 34 scholarships for a team when Major League Baseball teams travel with 26? Now, I get you got whole minor leagues to fill in for people that get hurt. You don't have that in college. But 30, it just seems excessive to me.
Right. No, that's a good point. One I just hadn't thought of. That's
I can understand why Virginia's administration would have some hesitation because I think we're somewhere around. I want to say it's a very low number. I don't want to be. I'm guessing a little bit, but it's not even. We're not even at 20 right now. I think we're around 13 or something, if I remember.
You're talking about 13 scholarships?
Yeah, for the whole baseball spread out.
I thought it was a little more than that. I thought it had gotten into the 20s, or
I think Virginia was willing to go,
or they were willing to go to 24 or something.
What I had heard going for Coach Oak was they had said we'll go up to the low to mid 20s to try to keep you. But I thought it was around 13. I could be wrong.
I'm trying to research
it real quick out there that knows exactly how many, because what they do with baseball, you might get a half scholarship. And then, they'll fill it in, I'm sure, with academic scholarships, things like that. I don't think they're paying to come to the university, but the athletic part might only be covered by a half or a quarter or, what have you.
Yeah, I mean, without really researching here, it's this says I'm trying to research it quick, and it just says, there's a maximum of 34. The roster's 34, and you can have up to 34 full scholarships. So that told me nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't help. But either way, I mean, that was another reason Coach Oak left.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess they were negotiating.
I mean,
yeah, I guess they were negotiating that. And maybe I was thinking they were in the low 20s, or maybe they were in the teens, like you said. And they were that was what was being offered to him, was to get to, somewhere in the mid 20s.
And here's probably another topic for another day, Jeff, but I just want to say this now. The revenue difference between the ACC and the SEC and the Big Ten has really turned us into a stepping stone job. We are no different now than an ODU, a JMU, or whatever. Now, we will pluck from below us as a stepping stone. But Virginia has always been a destination job in any sport.
But I still think I agree with you on the revenue part. But Virginia still in baseball, they were top 15 in what they're spending.
Right, but if you're not, if you're not, you can't keep competing because the cost of football and the cost of basketball has skyrocketed. So now, if you want to compete at baseball, you've got to dedicate the resources.
You got to get more. You got to get more donors.
You don't have the schools. I mean, I just don't see the ACC. Now, the ACC to me is just as good as the SEC in baseball right now. Like you look at the head-to-heads in the tournament, and you look at. I mean, it was the ACC performed really well. I think Virginia would have done really well if they had gotten in. Depending on who they got matched up with, but it's only going to get worse, is what I'm saying. Let's say Tony Elliott goes out and goes 9-3 and then 9-3. You don't think somebody's going to come and snatch him for way more money, even though he's got resources and things like that here? Mm-hmm. They get 4 teams. Let's say they go to that playoff, scenario where the SEC gets 4 automatic and the ACC gets 2. And Florida, let's say they come calling in 2 years, 3 years. Tony Elliott's turned Virginia around. Maybe he got Virginia to the playoffs or something, and we're 9-3, 10-2, whatever. You think he's not going to leave? They double his salary. Right. It's just we can't compete with the money.
Yeah, I think that we're only a couple years down the road though from just being I don't know if there is an ACC.
Yeah, right. If I was Virginia, major. I'm getting out. I'm going to the SEC or I'm going to the Big Ten. I'm going to one of those two.
And that's where they I've seen people when they want to go negative on Carla, they say Carla kept Virginia from going to the SEC. That the opportunity was there. And she's the reason they didn't go.
But, well, we should have. I mean, we should have. If we had the opportunity, we should have gone. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. There's so much, and you just don't know what's accurate and what's inaccurate. There's so much. This past week has been so much conversation on social media. People taking shots at Carla. People taking shots at Coach Oak. And then, et cetera, et cetera. So you just, you don't know what's accurate and what's not.
Yeah, I mean, I wish Carla could have, if the reports were true that they were truly blindsided, that they just assumed that Coach Oak wasn't going to go, then shame on them. I mean, you shouldn't be waiting until the guy has got a foot out the door before you start making phone calls. Hey. Again, I'm going to go back to the wife and the husband scenario. The wife says, I need help around the house. The wife says, I need you to cook dinner twice a week. The wife says, I need you to take the trash out without me asking. The wife says, I'm gone. And you're like, whoa. You didn't tell me to do anything. What?
Right.
Why are you leaving? Right. And you ain't done nothing she asked.
Right.
I mean.
Some stuff has been unfair on Carla. The Tony Bennett part, I think, is unfair on Carla. I don't think she had anything to do with that. But when it's always brought up the coaching, the coaches leaving or whatever. And Tony Bennett, the man, if he despised her, even though his son's was on the basketball team, but he's sitting in the box with Carla for every game. He wouldn't sit up there if he didn't like her.
I don't think that relationship was bad at all. I think they had a really good relationship.
Yep. So, and then O'Connor, I think there was strain there.
Yeah.
And
all tied to resources, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Cardiac Who's, I'm disappointed they didn't join us. I thought they were going to hop on. Maybe they, weren't able to.
Yeah. Well, it was a last minute thing. When they popped in, I was like, man, I should have sent them an invite earlier. They could have, jump on and give a little baseball talk for us, but we'll catch up with them another time.
Definitely, when we name a new head coach, I'm sure we'll have something, and we'll have to try to get with them beforehand.
I would recommend everyone go check out Jay's article on CavalierConnection.com. We'll continue to be posting on social media, and we'll be probably a little more active here in the coming weeks. Not been a whole lot of news out there. This week was kind of busy, but baseball came to an end for the both of us. I am doing a little coaching here in the next few weeks, but I probably it's not going to be as busy. wherever you're playing every night to the week. So
yeah.
But we thank everyone for joining us tonight.
Get us to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, on X, Joe.
Listen,
we're at 1999, 1,999 followers on X. Can we please get to 2,000?
You know,
I've been liking stuff and trying to get people. Can we get to 2,000?
You know, I forgot what I was gonna say about this whole thing. I don't even remember. I was afraid we get two or three new follows and lose 4.
But, right. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not watching on YouTube, take a second, help us out. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, so that you always get notified when we go live. Because if you're watching us on X, you're watching us on Facebook, you may miss something if you're not looking at it right then. But if you have that subscription, or it's not paid or anything, but you hit that subscribe button, you'll get notified when we go live every time.
Yep. And also Facebook, we went live tonight on Facebook for the first time ever. The StreamYard decided we can communicate to them now, but it's unfortunately it's not on the profile. It's on, what is that, Jay? Our page.
It's like a business site or something. I don't know. It's weird. I hate it.
It's frustrating. I know there's a lot of followers on Facebook. We'd love to be able to get live in that situation, but we are live on Facebook right now as well. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be catching back up with everyone next week. Go Hoos.
Go Hoos.